Welcome to the Scenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
Okay, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling something central to how we feel every day. Cortisol. You hear it called the stress hormone all the time. And look, it's vital, right? Absolutely necessary for survival, the whole run from a tiger thing. But the problem is, in our modern world, that tiger feels like it's always chasing us.
That's a perfect way to put it, that chronic activation is the issue. Cortisol itself, well, it's made by our adrenal glands, and it's supposed to regulate really important stuff, blood pressure, energy, metabolism.
Right.
But when that stress switch stays on, that's when the trouble starts. We see that persistent weight gain, often around the middle.
Yeah, the belly fat connection.
Exactly. And then there's the anxiety, the sleep problems that just won't quit, and a real drain on your nervous system over time.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We need to cut through the noise. We're going to extract the absolute top natural methods. We've got 7 key supplements backed by studies, plus the essential lifestyle habits that go with them that can genuinely help lower cortisol. The goal here is to give you a really clear, actionable guide, something you can use to help your body kind of shift down gears out of that constant fight or flight.
And we want to go beyond just a list, right? We want to understand the why.
Yeah.
How do these things actually work inside the body to bring things back into balance?
Okay, let's kick things off with a really interesting category. Adaptogens. These are pretty amazing natural substances that, they help the body adapt to stress rather than just reacting.
Right, they modulate the response.
Exactly. We've got 2 big ones here. First up, probably the most famous, ashwagandha. It's got this incredible history in Ayurvedic medicine.
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating because we're talking over 3,000 years of use, and modern science is really starting to confirm what ancient traditions knew. Its power lies in how it interacts with our core stress response system.
Okay, but how is it different from just, say, taking something that makes you drowsy? What's the actual mechanism?
Good question. It works on the HPA axis. That's the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Think of it as your body's central stress control panel.
Got it.
When you perceive stress, this axis signals the adrenal glands to pump out cortisol. Ashwagandha seems to help regulate that whole system. It doesn't just mask the symptoms. It helps recalibrate the thermostat, essentially lowering the amount of cortisol released.
So it's working upstream, helping you manage the stress before it gets overwhelming.
Precisely. And the studies bear this out, showing significant drops in circulating cortisol, less reported anxiety, better sleep quality. And importantly, it seems to help combat that specific stress-induced weight gain, particularly the visceral fat, by promoting more emotional equilibrium.
Okay, number 2, adaptogen, Rhodiola rosea. This one feels a bit different. Less about deep calm, maybe more about resilience, building mental toughness for specific challenges.
That's a great way to frame it. Rhodiola is another potent adaptogen, often found in really harsh, cold environments. Its strength is in boosting your capacity to cope with both physical and emotional stress. It helps manage how stress hormones like cortisol fluctuate during and, crucially, after a stressful event.
So it helps prevent that feeling of being completely wiped out mentally after, say, a huge work deadline or maybe even intense exercise.
Exactly that. It helps you maintain mental clarity and stamina when you're under pressure, but without being a harsh stimulant. You bounce back quicker. For dosage, studies typically look at around 200 to 400 milligrams per day.
Okay, so we've got these plant-based adaptogens helping teach the body resilience. But, managing stress also needs the right fuel, the right building blocks. If the body's running on empty, nothing works right.
So true. Foundational elements are key.
Let's talk about those fundamentals, starting with one we hear about all the time, magnesium, the calming mineral.
Yeah, magnesium is it's non-negotiable if you're dealing with chronic stress. It's involved in, I think, over 300 different processes in the body.
Wow.
And specifically for stress, it's vital for relaxing muscles, easing physical tension, and it directly plays a role in lowering cortisol.
We hear about it for cramps, for sleep, but for cortisol specifically, is taking a supplement really necessary? Can we get enough from food? Or is deficiency just that common?
Deficiency is unfortunately incredibly common, especially when you're stressed. Here's the kicker. Stress itself actually uses up your magnesium. That fight-or-flight response burns through cellular energy, and magnesium is key to that.
So it creates a vicious cycle.
Exactly. Stress depletes magnesium, Low magnesium makes you more prone to anxiety and poor sleep, which then causes more stress. Supplementing, usually around 200 to 400 milligrams per day, can be really effective at breaking that cycle.
Fascinating. Okay, next up, something a bit different. Phosphodiesterine, usually just called PS. It's a type of fat, which makes me think brain health straight away.
You're right on track.
Yeah.
PS is a phospholipid. It's a special kind of fat that's a key structural component of our brain cell membranes. Super important for memory, focus, and also for how hormones communicate within the brain. And it has a really specific researched application. It helps blunt those sharp cortisol spikes that happen after acute stress, both physical and mental.
So if ashwagandha is more about recalibrating the system long term, PS is more for managing the immediate fallout from a big shock, like right after a huge presentation or maybe running a marathon. Does it act faster?
Yes, that seems to be its niche. It's particularly helpful for people facing intense performance demands, athletes, executives, students, during exams. It can help reduce the intensity and duration of that immediate cortisol surge, helping you stay mentally sharper when it counts. Doses often range from 100 up to 400 milligrams per day.
Right. And rounding out these foundational elements, we have the omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. We all know they're good for us, but what's the direct link to cortisol and stress management?
The link is primarily through inflammation. Chronic stress is inherently inflammatory. It causes low-grade inflammation throughout the body.
Yeah.
And inflammation itself can actually signal the body to produce more cortisol. Omega-3s are powerful anti-inflammatories. So by calming down that systemic inflammation, they indirectly help lower cortisol levels.
So they're sort of protecting the nervous system from the wear and tear, the internal rust that chronic stress causes.
That's a great analogy, yes. They support emotional well-being, protect those neural pathways from the damaging effects of prolonged high cortisol. Plus, fighting inflammation often helps with related issues like inflammation-driven weight gain. For dosage, you're generally looking at about 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams per day of combined EPA and DHA.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. We've covered adaptogens and foundational nutrients. Now let's look at things that offer more of a focused calm. Things you might take during the day to help with concentration without, wanting to crawl into your desk for a nap.
Right, maintaining alertness while reducing stress.
Exactly. Next up, L-Theanine. I know this one comes from green tea. What's the magic here? How does it manage that calm focus without sedation?
It's actually a pretty elegant mechanism. L-theanine is an amino acid. When you take it, it has this neat effect of boosting alpha brainwaves.
Alpha waves, okay.
Yeah, these are the brainwaves associated with that state of being relaxed but alert and focused.
Yeah.
It's the state you might get into during meditation or when you're really absorbed in something creative. It's kind of the opposite of those jangly, anxious beta waves.
Ah, so it could be the perfect partner to caffeine, counteracting the jitters from coffee but keeping the focus.
It pairs beautifully with caffeine for exactly that reason: sustained focus without the anxiety or the later crash. It helps reduce that subjective feeling of stress and can lower cortisol spikes, all without making you drowsy. Typical doses around 100 to 200 milligrams per day.
Makes sense. Okay, rounding out our 7 supplements, let's circle back to another adaptogen, one with a revered status. Holy basil, also known as Tulsi.
Yes, Tulsi. Another cornerstone of Ayurvedic practice, often called the queen of herbs. Its function is quite similar in principle to ashwagandha. It works to support the adrenal glands and helps regulate those hormonal feedback loops involved in cortisol production. It improves resilience to stress.
And what makes it stand out? Its unique angle.
I'd say its high antioxidant activity is a key feature. Chronic stress generates a lot of oxidative stress-free radicals, causing damage at a cellular level. Holy basil is packed with compounds that neutralize these free radicals, helping combat the inflammation and cellular damage that comes with ongoing stress. For a standardized extract, you're usually looking at about 300 to 500 milligrams per day.
Okay, fantastic. We've just walked through 7 really potent tools, a whole toolkit for supporting your internal stress chemistry. But, and this is a huge but, we have to talk about the foundation. Supplements are like booster rockets.
Great analogy.
They work best, sometimes they only work effectively, when they're combined with solid, healthy lifestyle habits. That's the context they need.
Absolutely critical point. This is where the real sustainable change happens. We really need to prioritize 4 key strategies. First one, mindfulness or meditation.
Right.
Even simple practices, deep breathing exercises, a few minutes of quiet focus, there's solid science showing they directly calm the nervous system. They help you consciously shift your body out of that fight-or-flight overdrive.
And we're not talking hours a day, are we? It can feel daunting.
Not at all. Consistency beats duration here. Studies show even 10 to 15 minutes a day done regularly makes a measurable difference in nervous system regulation and overall stress resilience.
Okay, good to know. Next up, movement, exercise. We know it's a fantastic stress buster, but there's a really important caveat here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something that kind of goes against the go hard or go home fitness mentality.
Yes, a crucial caveat. We need regular moderate exercise. Think brisk walking, cycling, swimming, yoga, aiming for about 30 minutes most days of the week. The problem comes when people try to manage extreme stress with extreme exercise.
Wait, hold on. So hammering out a super intense workout or running really long distances might actually be worse for my cortisol levels than just a gentle walk? That feels backwards.
It does seem counterintuitive, but think about it from the body's perspective. Really intense, prolonged, or excessive exercise, like training for a marathon constantly or doing daily high-intensity interval sessions without enough recovery, is a significant physical stressor. It spikes stress hormones like adrenaline and, yes, cortisol. If you're already chronically stressed from life, piling intense exercise on top can actually overload the system further. Moderate movement helps lower cortisol without adding more stress to the pile.
Wow, that's a really important distinction, a potential game changer for how people approach exercise for stress. Okay, third lifestyle piece, the often neglected foundation, sleep.
You called it the foundation, and it really is. Lack of sleep or poor quality sleep is a direct physiological stressor. It forces your body into a state of heightened alertness and directly bumps up cortisol levels the next day.
So you just can't out-supplement bad sleep.
You really can't. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night is essential. And it's not just the hours, it's the consistency. Trying to go to bed and wake up around the same time, even on weekends, helps regulate your body's natural rhythms. And having a wind-down routine signals safety to your nervous system.
Makes sense. And finally, number 4, fueling the machine properly, diet.
Diet plays a huge role in hormone balance, often more than people realize. The focus should be on whole, unprocessed foods, lots of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean protein, healthy fats. But just as important is what you limit or avoid.
Okay, like what specifically?
Primarily high-sugar foods, heavily processed stuff, and excessive caffeine.
And why the strong link between sugar, processed foods, and stress?
It's all about blood sugar stability. High sugar or refined carb meals cause a rapid spike in blood sugar followed by a crash. Your body's response to that crash, it releases cortisol and adrenaline to try and bring blood sugar back up. So if you're on that blood sugar roller coaster all day, you're constantly poking your stress response system. Eating balanced meals that keep blood sugar steady helps keep cortisol levels more stable too.
Right. So we've got the toolkit, the 7 supplements, and the foundational lifestyle habits. Now let's cover some practical points. If someone starts taking some of these, say ashwagandha or magnesium, how quickly might they notice a difference? And what about safety?
Good questions. For many of the adaptogens like ashwagandha or rhodiola, it often takes a bit of consistency. Usually people report feeling noticeable improvements in stress resilience, maybe sleep quality, within about 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
But some things can act faster. L-Theanine for focus or magnesium for relaxation before bed, you might feel effects from those within days, or even sooner for some people. Consistency is still key for the long-term benefits, though.
And combining them, is it safe or even beneficial to take, say, an adaptogen like ashwagandha plus magnesium plus omega-3s?
Generally, yes. That kind of combination is often quite effective because they target different aspects of the stress response. Ashwagandha works on the HPA axis, magnesium helps with muscle tension and nervous system calm, omega-3s fight inflammation.
So they work synergistically.
Exactly. As long as you're mindful of the recommended dosages for each individual supplement and listen to your body, combining them is usually safe and can offer broader support.
But the essential disclaimer here.
Always, always talk to your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, especially if you're already taking other medications, whether prescription or over-the-counter, or if you have any underlying health conditions. While these supplements are generally well tolerated, Side effects like mild stomach upset or drowsiness can happen for some people, and you need to rule out any potential interactions.
Excellent advice. Okay, that was a really comprehensive deep dive. We've covered why managing cortisol is so crucial, moving beyond just feeling stressed to understanding the links to things like stubborn weight gain and disrupted sleep. And we explored 7 specific evidence-backed tools, from those ancient adaptogens that help retune our stress response to vital minerals that combat depletion.
And the key connection, the big takeaway for you listening, is that the most powerful approach combines these tools, the supplements, our boost rockets, with those non-negotiable foundational habits. Consistent sleep, nourishing food, moderate restorative movement, that's the bedrock.
Right. So here's something to think about this week, a final thought. We know high cortisol is directly tied to increased appetite, especially cravings for sugary things and that hard-to-shift belly fat. So think about this. Managing your stress isn't just about finding emotional calm. It's an active strategy for supporting a healthy metabolism and your long-term physical health. What one small foundational change, maybe committing to 10 minutes of quiet breathing each morning or shifting your bedtime just 30 minutes earlier, could you pair with one of these supplements starting this week to begin making that vital internal shift?
Thanks for tuning in to the Scenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit scenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.